It's time to talk some NFL playoffs starting with the two games on Saturday. Let's freaking go! What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we're here to talk some playoff football, baby. That's right, I am jacked up, ready to go. It is that time of the year. It's cold outside, and we got some football. Before we get into anything, though, in this video, we have a new sponsor. It's a great deal, great promotion. So stay tuned for that. We are very, very excited. And the only reason we can do things like that is because of the support of you guys. So I really appreciate it. But we're going to do a video like this one for Saturday games. We'll have another video come out for Sunday games and another one for that standalone Monday game, which I'm not even sure why they did that, but it is what it is. So in this video, we start out with the trends. That's right. We're going to talk NFL wild card trends. As you guys know, if you've been following us all year, we love to give out trends, which had a great winning record this year, and hopefully it can kind of help you. It should be a part of your handicap, obviously not the whole thing, but and then we're going to preview the Browns and the Texans and give out our two best bets for that game on Saturday, and then we'll finish it by previewing the Miami Dolphins against the Kansas City Chiefs. I got one best bet for that. We're going to preview that game. And then, of course, we'll wrap it up with the bets recap. So hit that like button, leave a comment below. Let's have a strong NFL playoffs. Let's finish the right way. And I'm ready to get into it. So before we get into the bets, let's talk the trends. All right, here we go. Let's talk the trends for the wild card round. I had to dig a little deeper for these ones. It's not the regular season, but we got some good ones. So here we go. NFL quarterbacks in their first playoff start are 21 and 38 against the spread since 2003. Makes sense. First start, it's not easy for anybody. And then underdogs are 20 and 10 against the spread in wild card round games and 13 and 17 straight up since 2017. That's not too bad. 13-17 straight up. At least one underdog has won outright in each season since 2017. So pick your underdog pretty much. Next one, Dolphins 1 and 5 against the spread versus teams with a winning record. 9 and 2 against the spread versus teams with a losing record. We have talked about this all season long, and we'll talk about it again later. Dolphins also lost 10 straight games when the temperature is under 40 degrees. How about that? Obviously, they're used to sunshine there in Miami, and there's going to be single digit temps. I heard close to 0 degrees in Kansas City. That's not pretty. Browns 10 and 0 straight up last 10 games versus the AFC South. And also, the over is 9 and 0 in Cleveland's last 9 road games. Then we move to the Steelers. They are 1 and 10 straight up without TJ Watt in his career. That is pathetic. That is really bad. It's amazing the impact that one defensive player has on a team. And then the Bills, 3 and 7 against the spread, last 10 games as a favorite, and 0 and 8 against the spread, last 8 games as a double-digit favorite, which they are this weekend against those Steelers. So that's page 1. Let's go check out page 2 now. I got 4 more for you. The under 7 and 3 the last 10 Bills home games. 7 and 1 is to the under the last 8 meetings between the Bills and Steelers. Under is also 7 and 2 the last 9 Steelers road games. All trends in that game point to the under. The over 11 and 3 the last 14 games combined between the Rams and Lions. That game's played in a dome. Stafford going back to Detroit, all that good stuff. And then the under 12 and 6 last 18 Buccaneers games. 7 and 0 last 7 games versus NFC East. So the under is 12 and 6 last 18 Bucks games, and last 7 Bucks games against NFC East have also gone under. And it's also 7 and 1 the last 8 Eagles road games. So again, all trends point to the under on that one. And the final one, the Eagles, 6th team in the Super Bowl era to make the playoffs after ending the season on a 6-game against the spread losing streak. They are struggling mighty. Previous 5 teams won their first game in the playoffs, though. That's not really a trend to back. That's just info. I just wanted to give you some info. So I thought that was interesting. But those are the NFL trends for the wild card round. And before we dive into the Browns and Texans, we got an exciting new sponsor and an unbelievable promotion with BetMGM. There it is, guys, an unbelievable deal. If you sign up with BetMGM, you bet $5 and you get $158 in bonus bets. That's right. You go sign up, use the link below, and all you have to do is put $5 in your account, make a bet on whatever you want, parlay, straight bet, knowing that you are going to get a guarantee of $158 in bonus bets. They haven't done this all year. They are only doing it for a very limited time during the NFL playoffs. You got to go sign up. And this is all thanks to our partnership with Odd Shopper that we can do this. The link is below. Must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Go check out BetMGM. And now, back to the games. All right, the first NFL playoff game takes us out to Houston, Texas. We got the Texans hosting the Cleveland Browns. Brownies -2.5, over under 44.5. Guys, this is the Massage Bowl. No, sorry, the Happy Endings Bowl, or also known as the Deshaun Watson Bowl. But he's not playing because he's been on the sideline quite a bit in his young, early career for the Cleveland Browns. Texans in a much better state financially and at quarterback, in my opinion. So it all worked out for them. This is crazy. Who would have thought we'd be seeing Joe Flacco versus CJ Stroud in a playoff game? My freaking goodness. It's a Super Bowl champion veteran quarterback making a comeback versus a rookie QB making his first playoff start. And for those of you that think I look like Joe Flacco, we're going to talk a lot about him today and how handsome he is. And if you think that, no, I'm just joking. Not really. Head to head, Browns won in Houston 3 weeks ago, but CJ Stroud wasn't playing, so it means literally nothing to me. It was Davis Mills and Case Keenum at quarterback. So we're going to get right into this bet, and I love it. This is the first bet of two for this game also. Give me the over 44.5 Browns Texans. I got this at -110 on BetMGM. Now, Browns are playing some high scoring games lately. They are throwing the ball an absolute ton all over the field ever since Flacco took over. Here's the game totals since Flacco was a quarterback: 55 points when they played the Rams, 58 against the Jaguars, 37 against the Bears, 58 against the Texans, and 57 against the Jets. We're talking 55 or more in 4 of the 5 games. I just need 45, guys. That's an average of 53 points per game. That's right, hash brown math. Texans run defense is their strength. I talked about it last week, and then they absolutely shat themselves and let Jonathan Taylor run all up and down that field. So the Texans are actually about average the last 3 games when you just take the last 3. So they are falling apart a little bit. I wish I would have known that. I didn't know Jonathan Taylor was going to run all over them. But the Texans are also 23rd in pass yards allowed, which is not good when you're facing this Browns offense right now. But home and away at numbers. Let's just go over this to kind of that helps the over. Offenses: Texans averaging 24.6 points per game at home compared to only 19.5 on the road. So they do average about 5 more points at home. Browns average actually more on the road than they do at home. 24.4 on the road, 22.3 at home. But defenses, we've talked about this one all season long. The Browns, second to last, allowing 29.6 points per game on the road this year. It's absolutely insane. The number one defense when they're at home, but they are not at home here. Houston, they're allowing around the same points home and away, so no big deal there. But then let's talk about some more stuff. Honestly, if you just look at the matchup, I don't really see any of these two teams stopping the other team. I don't think there's going to be many punts, and we're in January, so you think weather. Obviously, there's no weather here. It is in a dome. It's in Houston, so it's one of the best. It is the best atmosphere you can have for an over. So if this Browns typical road defense shows up, I don't think they're going to be able to slow down Stroud as long as Houston can protect him, because obviously we know Myles Garrett and those boys, they can get after the quarterback a little bit, but they've struggled a little bit when they're on the road, like we mentioned. I expect a lot of passing from both teams. I mean, Joe Flacco, who we're going to talk about here in a little bit, he's been just slinging it all over the place. And 44.5 just seems too low. I thought this would be around 47.5, to be honest with you. So give me the over 44.5 in this one. And I expect, this game to probably be in the 50s. I'm going to be honest with you. So that's my first bet. Second bet in this game, we're going to my boy Joe Flacco, over 271.5 pass yards. I got this at -115 on BetMGM. Now, last 4 games, how about 311, 374, 368, and 309? I mean, over 300 in all 4 games. I only need 272 in this one. The 368, by the way, was against this Texans defense as well. Texans, like I already mentioned, up above 23rd pass yards allowed. They faced a lot of bad quarterbacks. If you actually look at it, I'm surprised that they don't give up more yards, or I'm surprised that they're actually 23rd because they've been playing guys like Levis and just some really bad quarterbacks this year. If you go through all the list, and this passing offense is just humming along right now. I thought Joe Flacco would be a bad quarterback at this point in his career, but he's just not. So they love to let him sling it around. His pass attempts on the books right now is 36.5 for a reason, guys. If he's throwing it almost 40 times a game, he should go over 271.5. And like I said, great conditions. Can't argue with that. I think it's going over. I think the Browns are going to score. I like the Browns team total over. And also, if I had to pick a side, I like the Browns minus 2.5. I just trust the veteran quarterback, even though, I love what Houston's doing over there. I love my Buckeye, CJ Stroud. But that's just a lean. I'm going to go over 44.5 as my best bet. And then the second one, Flacco over 271.5 pass yards. He can't let me down if he's my twin, right? He just can't do it. So those are my two best bets for the Browns at the Texans. And now let's talk a little Dolphins Chiefs. All right, this next one takes us up to Kansas City. We got the Chiefs hosting the Miami Dolphins. Chiefs are minus 4.5, over under of 44 points in this game. Another storyline in this one. This is the Cheetah Bowl. That's right. Tyreek Hill going back to Kansas City. Going back to Kansas. That's not the song, but either way. Chiefs beat the Dolphins earlier this year in Germany. That's right. 21-14. I believe the Chiefs were up 21-0 at halftime in this game and held on 21-14. I got one best bet in this game. I like the other one a little bit better, but here we go. Give me the Chiefs money line and the under 51.5 at minus 110 on DraftKings. Let's talk Chiefs money line first. They're a winning team. Shouldn't that be enough said? They're a winning team that the Dolphins have to play, so that should be a loss. But in reality, the amount of injuries the Dolphins have is just getting too much. They got a lot of injuries, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think they can overcome it. You've seen them play the last month of the season. Kind of reminds me of last year because I don't think they finished very strong last year. Also, they kind of peaked early, and all these injuries are killing them. And I know Tua's playing a little injured as well, but you saw the trends, and it's for real, guys. We've talked about it all year long. The Dolphins can't win against good teams. They just can't. We just talked about it, and it's proved right pretty much every single game. The only one was a game-winning field goal when they beat the Cowboys. That was the only good team they beat. And they also can't win in cold temperatures. That's been a thing in Miami for a while. They're obviously used to, 80, 90-degree weather for a while. And this is as cold as it gets. I mean, we're talking almost 0 freaking degrees in Kansas City. I know the Chiefs offense has struggled lately. I get that. It's been a struggle to watch them. It's been ugly. Hopefully, they had a week off last week. Hopefully they made some adjustments. But what should help is playing a banged up Dolphins defense. And let's talk about this Dolphins offense real quick, a little bit more. Uh, Versus teams with winning records. I think we talked about this a few videos ago. Here's how many points they've scored: 14 versus the Bills, 19 versus the Ravens, 22 versus the Cowboys, 14 Chiefs, 17 Eagles, 20 against the Bills. That is not even close to a top 5, top 10 offense, guys, when they play good teams. They are averaging 17.66 offensive points per game versus good winning teams. That's right, just winning teams with a winning record. That's how many points they're averaging. And the Chiefs are second in points allowed this season at 17.3. So, maybe a Dolphins team total under 2 in this weather against the Chiefs defense. I wouldn't be, if the Dolphins score 10, I wouldn't be shocked. I'll just say that. They're at home, and I just trust this defense, and I really trust Andy Reid a lot more over Mike McDaniel. I mean, let's be honest, guys. That's not even competition. Um, when we're talking quarterbacks, I trust Mahomes a lot more. Talking coach, just the advantage everywhere, playing at home, better defense, better at cold weather games. So give me the Chiefs on the money line. And the second part, it's an alt line, under 51.5. Chiefs are the number one under team in the second half this season. We've talked about that before. It's been a trend all year long. I know that's only one half of football, but I do want to say, like, their games average only like 14 points a game in the second half. And you saw it in the first game between these two teams. There was only 14 points scored, all by the Dolphins when they lost. But so I love the under 51.5. The Chiefs offense, like I mentioned, I expect them to be a little better than they've been, but they're still missing some weapons, obviously. And it's on the other side. It's called Tyreek Hill. But a cold weather game, I cannot see this game going anywhere near 51, to be honest with you. I mean, I've seen some cold playoffs games. Seahawks played the Vikings in one of them. It was a very, very low scoring game. The players were freaking freezing, and you just cannot score a lot of points doing that. You can't just sling it all over the field. And like I said, I think the Dolphins score 10 to 17 points in this game. Maybe they get lucky and get 20, but I still don't think this is going to 51.5. So 35 points between these two teams earlier in Germany, and that was when they were a little healthier as well, and it wasn't 0 degrees outside. So kicking is also going to be a little bit issue. They could miss some field goals or not attempt 50-something yard field goals because it's 0 degrees. So that can affect it as well. But I see this being kind of like a 21-14, 21-13 kind of game for the Chiefs. So give me the Chiefs money line, and under 51.5 is my best bet for this game. And now let's check out the bets recap. All right, we start with the over 44.5 in the Browns Texans game, minus 110 on BetMGM. Second bet, Joe Flacco of the Brownies, over 271.5 pass yards. Got that at minus 115 on BetMGM. If you can get access to BetMGM, that would help. I know FanDuel has this around 275.5, I believe was the last one I saw it. And then Chiefs money line and under 51.5. That's at minus 110 on DraftKings. Those are the three bets for the Saturday wild card round games. Again, we're going to have a video for the Sunday games, another one for Monday, so stay tuned for those. Let's get some winners. Let's just absolutely sweep the board on Saturday and get off to a hot start. So I appreciate all the support during football season and hope everyone has a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.